Hello YouTubers, and welcome to another episode of the Model Railway here on the channel. Some more little scenic updates I've been doing, so I'll share those with you in a moment. But first of all, thank you very much for watching today and for all your past and previous comments. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It really makes a difference, and I do enjoy your support so much. And please, again, let me know in the comments box below where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from people outside of the UK, people in Canada, people in America, all over the world. And if you are in one of those places outside of the UK, let me know. It'd be great to hear from you. Anyway, if you're not familiar with this video series that I'm doing, this is my new 6x4 model railway that I'm still building. Even though it looks finished, it's not. There's still little fine scale things to do in it. There's always little bits and pieces to add, little things to fiddle with, little things to change. So again, it's set up on over my bed, not on my bed, but over my bed with the addition of two folding tables. If you want to know where I got those from, drop a comment and I can answer that and send you the link to where I got them from. Very reasonable, very sturdy, very lightweight and easy to set up and take down. So it gives me a place to obviously work on some stock or whatever I want to do. And also it supports the baseboard very nicely. Anyway, so what have I been doing on the railway today actually? Well, quite a lot in terms of little bits and pieces. Doesn't seem a lot maybe, but in a short space of time today I've got some things done. So let's focus on one of those things I'm going to tell you about now. So this is my little duck's pond, almost finished because I gave it another coat of varnish today. So the bits that are coloured light blue to whitish in colour on the camera shot here, that's actually varnish that's almost dry. I gave it a sort of a medium to light coat. One more coat I think is going to do it. I've also added some brown to the water bank edge around the pond, the actual edge of the pond there. I've painted that in with very simple watercolour paint. A sort of a medium to high quality standard set I got out of a craft shop. Well, actually my wife picked it up for me about 2 weeks ago because my daughter got some watercolours in a set and I quite liked them, and I thought, well, they're nice, they'd be great for modelling, for doing some brickwork and bits and pieces, and why not? So she picked me up a set and it's come in very handy because I've done this for example, and it's I'm quite happy with that. It's a nice sort of matte brown dirty sort of finish around the edge of the pond, and I think that's just about right around there. That's come out quite well. And also, as you can see, we've got some bovine friends here, some cows I've put around the edge there, nibbling away at a little bit of vegetation, and also maybe getting a drink from the pond there. There's a couple of sheep over there as well, and we've also painted this fallen tree that's been in the pond for many years. I've just given it a little bit of lick of the brown watercolour shade on the end of the trunk there, and also a little bit of varnish to simulate where it's been in the water as well. I've added some static grass, little outcrops there, again from an old piece of static grass mat that it was going to go in the bin. So I decided to chop the best I could out of it and give it a haircut and stick little tufts of it in the pond, and also painted in some pond plants as well. Again, very easily done with some red paint or whatever colours you want to use, just with the paintbrush. So that's virtually done. It's just drying now at the moment. I think that's what I'm going to do with it. And then I've got to add some ducks and some waterfowl to go on there properly, because I think that big stone in the middle, which is a stone from outside that's been glued down and varnished, there's definitely going to be a heron sort of standing guard over his pond watching the trains. And the heron was a very good mascot on West Anglia route years ago when I worked on West Anglia. The heron was a symbol of that. And we actually had a lot of problems with herons and wildlife flying into the overhead line at Coppermill Junction, chasing them off the track and trying to get hold of them to the RSPCA to turn up and safely deal with them. Anyway, moving on. Coming over here, we've got some more cows sitting up there on the rock outcrop. They're going to live over there. no trouble. What else have we done? Oh, I can try and come in with the camera over here. I'll just show you that one of the noticeable things that you'll notice on the platform is the footbridge. Again, this is off the old layout, but it'll make a great idea, obviously, to get across the platforms there. And obviously there's a stop-in service at the island platform. One side of the doors will open so the passengers can actually get across to that service. But if I want to add another set of steps to go down from that footbridge onto the island platform, it probably means I'm going to have to scratch build a set of steps, or I'm going to have to get two dapole footbridges and kind of kit bash them into one bridge with a third step going down. I can't really afford to do that right now. So I think I'm just going to leave this for the time being as it is, and we'll work out maybe something at a later date. I've added some flowers on the platform there, flower bed. Good old Harburn Hamlets with their cast little details there. There's two very lonely passengers there. Got a very long wait for the next service. I'm going to add some more people. Again, I've got the people to add. I've run out of super glue at the moment, but when I get around to getting some more super glue, I'm going to start adding some more people over there. But that's another day, another project. Loads of time to do that. So coming over here. Oh, that's something else I'm going to show you guys and girls. We've got ourselves a grave digger. As you can see, there's been a recent bereavement in the village. Again, what I'm going to do with this, guys, I'm going to get a paintbrush and just paint in some flowers on that little bit of foliage I've put at the top of the headstone there. Not sure if you can pick that out too well, but yeah, there's a little bit of sea moss tree material that I've stuck on there, and I'm going to decorate that with some paint to represent bereavement flowers freshly put there for the loved one who's passed away and no longer with us. Zooming out. What else did I do today? Oh yeah, I actually moved the TPO ramp up a little bit because it was basically spitting out the mail bags on the floor, not in the actual bin. So I experimented it, and after about half an hour I figured it out. I just needed to move it up a little bit, so that's what I've done today. So again, we'll play with that in a minute, get that going. Coming around here, what else have we done scenic wise? A little bit going on in this scene here. We've got a little chap on a moped on the right hand side of the shop going past the Brahms and Liszt Brewery Company. We've got a bus stop outside the church, complete with bus stand, bus stop, and a man putting his hand out for the number 11 to the cemetery gates. I've actually got some Routemaster buses, 176 scale models, so I'm going to put those in the layout, maybe, but they won't be glued down with super glue. They'll just be put on and taken off because they're quite heavy. What's going on down here? A police box outside the school. Could it be for the local constable, or could it be the doctor? Maybe it is the doctor. Maybe the doctor turned up in his TARDIS, went across the road for a cup of tea with the steptoes. Then he went past the brewery and decided to see old Fred Divner climbing up the chimney. What else do we find today? Oh yeah, I found Fred's Land Rover, which is there. That's been super glued in place. This is a nice little Oxford die-cast model. It's very similar to the one that Fred had. It's not actually correct because Fred's Land Rover had a flatbed on the back with scaffold poles, and it was red to put all his ladders up on. But that's quite good, I think. I can't zoom in too much. Oh, or can I? Yes, I can. Complete with the the foreman of the brewery, who's standing there looking quite worried, looking aghast at young Fred up his ladder. I'm not sure if he's worried about Fred's safety or how much he's going to charge him to ban the chimney. Put the cast iron bands around it. So I did that today. Simple. It sounds like it's not a lot, but little bits and pieces all matter. I found some more ladders as well. Fred's red ladders. I glued some more there in place. What else did I do? I found this little coal office building. I'll try and take you over here with the camera as best I can. That little building next to the coal stades. That's the coal office. Also going on over at the station here. We've got our... Is it going to zoom in for me? Oh, let's have a look. I'm not sure if it's going to do it or not. Oh, it might do. There we go. We've got a bicycle rack there up on the approach steps. We've got a W.H. Smith's Nude Agents, complete with a nice young lady working behind the counter. Thank you very much. And obviously the footbridge over there. And we've got a water crane on the end of the platform there. So, yep. Got those in place. I've actually permanently fixed down the vegetable allotment over there that belongs to the station master. He works quite hard in there. That's actually glued in place because it's going to be safe. It's not going to get damaged. The only thing that's coming off that area obviously is the footbridge and the station buildings. The station kiosk and everything else will remain. That's quite safe. That won't go nowhere or get damaged. Again, I've tested all these things for clearance, and hence why I've glued them down. They're okay. But the rest of the stuff is I just lift on and off, basically. Anything else going on? What I did today? I stuck a little post box down by the pub. One there. This vegetation behind the platform here, some of it I replanted today, and some of it I had to give quite a large trim because there was clearance problems with rolling stock coming around that curve, slightly catching on vegetation. So like the real railway, we can't have that. So the vegetation gang came in today and trimmed all that up nicely, so there's no problems with trains going around there. As you can see, the platform there, in the bay platform, we've got the pannier with the auto coach coupled behind it, so I think we'll have a play with that in a minute. Added a little few more figures there. He's just come across the foot crossing from the Bell Inn pub. He's now going to go and catch that train safely. Oh yeah, I'll show you this before we get running some trains as well. So obviously over in the goods yard there, we've got some wagons that have been shunted in there, have been unloaded, and they're ready to be picked up and taken out back to where they come from. Over here, we've got a piece of scrap rail. It's actually part of a crossing that's been cut out. And if you go on the real railway lines of Great Britain, you'll notice everywhere along the railway line, you'll see at some point in the cess, which is this place in between, for example, the embankment or a space between the side of the track where there's no track and then there's track. So that little space between the first pair of tracks or the first railway line and the embankment is called the cess. So in that area, normally you find lots of things these days, like scrap rail and bits and pieces dumped. This is an old P-way crossing that's been cut out of one of those. They did an engineering job about 25 years ago. They put in the new crossing there. Unfortunately, they haven't taken the old one away because the P-way manager, in his infinite wisdom, says, leave it there, boys, because if we get a points failure or the crossing fails, the nose of the crossing, which is the pointy bit, if that fails and it gets a crack in there, that crossing is okay. We can use that. And then one of the P-way lads, who shall remain nameless, who's got a YouTube channel that you're watching now, said, don't put that in, it's the wrong stuff. It's French, it's not English, it's the wrong measurement. Oh, that'll be okay. Yeah, okay. We know what happened there. That turned into a 12-hour shift. True story. Okay, moving along, we put a little hut there. I thought we'd have that little hut there as our shunter's cabin. So obviously, matey in there can have his cup of tea and his fire going, and he can keep an eye on the train movements, what's coming in and what's coming out. It's not a busy yard, so obviously he's got information of what's coming in for the day and what's coming out, what's coming into the siding for the goods and what's coming into the depot for locos, and what's going out. So he's got the information there, and he's just got a little hut now to sit in and pass away while away the hours. He's going to be a good boy and do his job. And should he require refreshment, when it's quiet, after the peak, he should go up the stairs, nicely knock on the signalman's door and ask him for a brew. But what he won't do is go across the track into Bramsness Brewery. And that's definitely a sackable offence. No. See, I've got a large imagination, as you can tell. It's fun. It's a railway. What else have we got? Oh, I found this little boffy hut. I call it a boffy hut. Fogman's hut. I put it there next to the level crossing. And its function is for the staff collecting and placing the TPO mail sacks on the hook there, somewhere to wait during the rain or adverse weather, so they're not standing out there getting wet. This Hornby TPO collection hook apparatus is a little bit kit bashed, as you can see. It's got some planking that I've cut through and added around the side there as a little platform. And again, signal box steps fit perfectly for some handrails, and a safe way to climb up there and quite safely place the mail bag on the hook. Because the way Hornby did it, I mentioned this in an old video, guys, that I know it's only a thing to play with on a layout, and some people don't take it seriously, but people like me, I like a little bit of realism and functionality. And if I look at something and I think to myself, oh, that looks a bit dangerous and precarious. They've got to climb up a ladder, a little tiny metal ladder with no handrails. There's no platform to put the stand on and put the hook on. So it looks a little bit precarious. Let's make something a little bit more believable and something a little bit more interesting. So that's my sort of kit bashed TPO collection apparatus. And then moving around the corner, as you can see, we've got some scrap rail there. I can't forget, forgive me because the name slips my mind, but I'll curse myself, because once I upload this video, I'll realise who actually put the comment. I think it might have been a chap called Paul. Someone dropped a comment about putting things like scrap rail in the wideway there, in that area where there's in between the tracks, putting some things of interest to look at. So I've got to vacuum off the grass once it's dry. It is actually almost there. So after the upload, I'm going to get the hoover out and just vacuum that off. But there's some scrap rail there that's been sitting there for a while. It's all rusty. And why is it kept there? It's another question I'm going to answer for you. If you ever go on a railway line in Great Britain, mostly the habit is, if you see loads of rail lying in between the railway lines, or to the side, or in the middle, or at the end of the platform in the space there, and you think, why is all this scrap there? Why can't they come and pick it up? Well, that's true. They can pick it up. I know when I worked on the underground for a little bit, Saturday night used to be scrap night, and used to go around with the engineering train and pick up all the scrap, and it was what you call a buck she turn, which meant that it was nice, and it was like you get a good overtime rate for the Saturday night coming in, just for a shift of doing that. And it was quite easy. Just go around with the engineer's train and pick up all the scrap rail, and the company loved it because they got money back for it, and you got your Saturday night out of it. But certainly the reason why you see scrap rail lying about sometimes on the railways in Great Britain is as follows. 9 times out of 10, short lengths of rail like that, they've been cut off from a rail change job. And sometimes the rail quality still is good, it's okay to use. Not necessarily loads of it, but there might be a small section. For example, if there was a broken rail, say for example by the base of that signal there was a broken rail, and they had to obviously stop trains, and it wasn't 5 miles an hour, it would stop the job because the rail had completely broken and you couldn't run nothing through it. It was dangerous. And they needed to change some rail. So what they would do, they'd use that piece of rail there, measure it, they cut it, put it in, and then they put temporary clamps on it, and then obviously run trains at a speed restriction. And then they'd come in on the next shift, no doubt, and they'd weld it in. If not on the same shift. If it was a smaller piece, they could do the weld job. If not, they'd just cut it to size and put an emergency clamp on there just to get things moving. But that's normally why it's handy to have lengths of rail lined about the railway. That's the same type of rail that it's actually sitting next to. In case there's an emergency, you need to cut a little piece of rail out to fit the piece that's broken. Obviously, if it's a longer section, they'll need to bring it elsewhere. But normally with a rail brake, you can cut it from A to B. But it's a lot more thicker and difficult to cut than Hornby track. You need a very, very, very big disc saw to cut that, I tell you. A Dremel wouldn't do it. Anyway, a little bit of humour. I know I'm rambling on about my old days on the railway, but that's what railwaymen do. They just talk and talk and talk about the job to those that want to listen or that have been injected with Valium or whatever. No offence taken. I'm not making any references to people that have medication problems. I just like to talk about the railway a lot. And the other thing that old railwaymen do, railwaymen build model railways. That's the other thing we do. We play trains because the full-size train set wasn't enough for us. Now, people often ask me in the past about, or have asked me in previously, how do you get the ideas when you build your model railways and stuff? And I say, well, two sources. I look through books, but my main source of inspiration for building little things is from what I remember from my days on the railway, walking the track, maintaining it, doing track patrols as a patrolman, being a signalman when I first started on the railway when it was still BR, up in the box. Lots of experience, a lot of memories. I've actually written a book that I've done. I'm just waiting to save up and get printed and published, which is about my career and my adventures and my ups and downs, more so downs, on the railway. When it comes out, I'll let you know, and we'll explore that one. Anyway, I'll stop rambling now, because it's 22 minutes, I'll get on for 23 minutes of the video, and I'm sure you want to see some trains running, so I'll shut up and we'll play trains. So the first thing we'll do, I think, is bring the shuttle out of the bay platform over there, the old auto coach. Where is it? Oh, it's over here. There she goes, across the level crossing. And I think cows are behaving themselves. Good girls. We're going to go around. I think we're going to stick it in the middle platform, because obviously we can't go where that Sandringham loco is. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that there like that, and then with our friend Mr. Signalman stick, we're going to come over here and just change those points like that. And I won't need to use it for this side because it's very, very, very easy to reach. I could just come in like that, and with the magic finger from the sky, bosh, like that. Right, we'll set the stick for the main. Crossing gates are closed, crossing is clear, and the signalman just needs to throw his points, so we don't want to send the whole train into the short bay platform because it would be a disaster. Right. Right, okay, so we're ready to go, so let's get this train on the way. And she's away. I've stuck the LMS TPO coach on the end of this. I know it doesn't look right because we've got a rake of Gresleys, but just for TPO purposes and getting it going, I was doing some testing earlier on, so I left it on the end, and we'll get this going, shall we? Let's play trains. Come on, let's do it. Friday night, guys. Time to play with the TPO. See, most blokes go out night clubbing or go down the pub, watch the football or whatever. I play with the TPO. Bags of fun. Get it? Bags of fun. Here we go. I never get tired of playing with this. Never. Bosh. Beautiful. Oop. Slightly missed that a little bit, but that's okay, we don't mind. It's better than what it was doing earlier. It was spitting it out by the grass over there earlier, so I had to do some alterations with the ramp, but it does work, because I've been doing it earlier with the train and it's been working fine, so hey ho. Right, so we've got that on the move. Let's see. I think we might. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll bring the J15 out of the shed. Oh look, there we go. There's a group of footplate enginemen having a bit of chat there. I tell you what, if you're interested in steam trains and like on the footplate and general the duties of an engineman and what goes on and sort of from a learning point of view, I tell you what, the best thing you can do, look up on YouTube. I should put the link actually underneath the video, but I'm a bit lazy. I might put it, I might not. But anyway, just by word of mouth, there's a guy called Clive Groom who works on the Bluebell Railway. He started off in the sort of early 1950s at Norwood Junction Shed, finished up as top link driver at Nine Elms in near Waterloo, and he's brilliant. What an engineman, what a gentleman. If you look out for the art of driving and firing on YouTube, type in the art of driving and firing. There's about 2 or 3 parts of it, and Clive takes you through that. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a great documentary. So if you're a bit of a Southern Region fanatic, yeah, steam wise, you'll love it. So another good recommendation. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll bring the J15 out. So we'll change these points and we'll set the road, make sure that we've got these points up here set as well. That would help, otherwise we'll get nothing power wise into the TMD. Those points are set. We'll come back round here. Try not to trip over my little seat as I go past. Here we go. So what we're going to do is just bring this out. Here's the J15, quick blast on the whistle. Open the cylinder cocks. And we're moving off shed. Quick toot on the whistle. Okay, we just need to bring it to a stand just by the crossing there. Enough for a quick shout out and wave to the loco man coming out of his house there by the back door, walking up to the depot for work. How very convenient. As we change these points, put the reverser in reverse and come down these wagons ready to be picked up from the loading dock here. Coming in now. I think we've got those. And away we go. Have a quick word with the shunter. Right, cheers mate. Here we go. Beautiful little loco, this J15. Obviously Stratford engine. Got to have a Stratford engine. And it's got these weathered ventilated vans that I've put in formation. And on the back is a vintage Hornby early 70s brake van, 20-ton brake van. That's a nice little item on the back there. She comes out just round the curve and eases onto the main line there. Okay, as she makes her way through the station and approaches the tunnel, driver gives a blast on the whistle as she disappears into the tunnel. Meanwhile, the driver is very aware of the Railwayman's pub over here, the Bell Inn, so he gives another toot on the whistle, takes it nice and easy around the curve, gives a quick wave to the little bit of crumpet on the foot crossing there, waiting to cross. A nice steady gallop, not even a gallop actually, a nice steady trot, should I say, around there. Beautiful. And hopefully what I'm going to do is show you the functionality of this very simple layout, the sort of running moves you can do. As you can see, we've got outside on track 1, we've got this express train with the TPO stuck on the end. Track number 2, I've got a little short goods train with the J15. But in the middle platform, as part of the passing loop, we've got the auto train there. Now what we're going to do in a minute is bring the express to a stand on platform 1, change the points so we isolate it, and then we can run the auto train in a minute and leave one standing over there. So it's a great place to store trains and have things where you can just change service. And obviously once you finish with the train, you can arrange for it, for example, to go back to the depot or straight over into the bay platform. It's endless. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how I've actually had the ability to do this from a simple track plan. I didn't think it would actually work, but when I actually looked at the plan as to how things would operate train-wise, I thought that's quite a good idea. I like the idea of that. It's definitely more functional than my old layout, miles better, because I actually can do things with this. There's quite a lot of scope for different trains to run and different services. Right, let's get on with some more running, shall we? So there goes the express. That's Sandringham on the front. It's a B17. Right, shutting off. Letting the train come to a stop. Over there. There we go, straight in the platform 1 over there. Right, time for the signalman stick to come into use. Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, my signalman stick is that, until I get round to motorising my points and being able to do things properly. But it does come in handy for reaching things in the layout and also getting stuff down what I need, say for climbing about and having an accident. Right, so what we need to do is then change these points. Okay, well then let's see, we'll set the main. So now we need to bring out that pannier tank and that auto coach, which we'll do now. Again, releasing the brakes on my analog Gauge Master controller. Fantastic controller. I think the only controller that I think would be second or equal, if not better, is a Morley controller, but these are very, very good. So we'll set that to about there, and she's away. Let's give it a little bit of cut off, a little bit more brake. I want that to really, there we go. That's a nice little speed for that. Everything's set, yep. And this is it. Just run some trains. Little push and pull service. And this is actually the first time to be quite honest, if I'm really honest, I hardly ever used this auto coach on the old layout when I got it. It's a railroad product, Hornby Railroad brand, but it's a lovely little item, and I think it goes well with the service it's meant to be doing, and also with the formation with the little pannier. It's great. Very nice. Off it goes. Just hold that in the platform there. Meanwhile, the J15 is just going to dry up on the platform just to take on water. And then we're going to just set that signal, route number 2, for, if we flick those points, route 2, straight into the bay for the auto coach. Here she comes. Yeah, that'll do you. Right, and that will do you. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Thanks for watching the trains tonight and listening to me ramble on and on. But hope you enjoyed the video so far. And in terms of little bits and pieces I've been fiddling about and adding to the layout scenic wise. And I'm sure when you watch again, there'll be something else, a little extra I've added and something else I've done or come up with. Anyway, keep watching. Thank you for all the support. It means a lot to me. Have a wonderful weekend out there, whatever you're doing around the world. And I will see you in the next one. Take care now. Goodbye and God bless.